This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is The List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
You are listening to the List Building Lifestyle Show. Here's your Uncle Igor.
I think that was the fastest intro in the history of podcasting.
Well, look, the last time you told me that we're messing up your brand, giving you too many titles, and in that last episode, you called yourself Uncle Igor. So I was just kind of following up with that.
Do you remember those ads? I don't know if you had those in Ukraine during the 90s. We had Uncle Ben's. It's like, I think it was rice and some canned foods or something like that.
Yeah, Uncle Ben's.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Ben's. I was always like, I really liked Uncle Ben's. I really liked that guy. And he was so friendly and so inviting. I mean, I really wished he was my uncle. So hopefully somewhere, an 18-year-old is listening to the podcast right now. He's like, yeah, it'd be so cool to have Igor as my uncle. That would be really sweet. I'd be really proud of myself.
Rich Uncle Igor. Give me a car. All right, Igor. So what do you have for us today?
Well, as promised, I want to chat to you about solo ad scams. Now, I realize it's not the most inviting topic. It's not the kind of topic that makes people excited. And I'm not one to be all negative about things. Although I go on rants a lot, but I do try to do it in a positive way. But this episode is going to be dark. And it's going to be dark because over the years, I got scammed in many different ways as I was buying solo ads, and still sometimes I do. In fact, last week, I identified 3 different sources that sent me bullshit leads that I had to really go and confront. So the issue of being scammed when you're buying solo ads is a real one. And a lot of times, maybe, anyone listening had this experience. A lot of times people try a couple of solo ads, they get no results or really poor results, and they sort of go away and only come back to solo ads a couple of years later when the pain wore off. And they say, I haven't had luck with solo ads in the past, but I'm ready to try again, maybe with a different vendor. A lot of times this happens because they deal with assholes that scam them. Only customers are not able to identify the fact that they were scammed in the first place. So they discard the entire strategy, the entire solo ad strategy as a bad one simply because they fell for the bad apples. Now, obviously, just like with any industry, we have, we solo ad people, we have our fair share of assholes in the industry. I mean, same thing can be said about lawyers and doctors and whatnot. But, apparently, all of these scammers, they give us a bad name.
Igor, how were you able to identify those couple vendors that you said were giving you bullshit leads?
Well, I'm going to disclose this in this episode.
Aha.
So perhaps we should just dive right in, right? So there's really 4 different types of scams that are currently going on. So over the years, they kind of change, and because the scammers kind of get caught and then they adapt. But really, there's 4 big strategies for scamming you when you're buying traffic. So first things first, you may be just getting fake clicks. Fake being not real. Fake being, programmed software that's supposed to look real, that's supposed to click on your links, but in reality, you're getting really poor traffic that never was designed to perform on your offer. So for example, you could be getting, automated crawling bots that are usually coming to expired domains. And then these bots are crawling from those domains to the next page that's supposed to redirect. And the person selling you the clicks is just putting your link in that rotator because they own a bunch of expired domains, right? Or however it actually works. I'm not really familiar with the actual setup. I just know that expired domain traffic is abundant and it's very easy to come by, and you can get it for quite literally, Jonathan, I'm not kidding you, like half a cent per click. Now imagine if you go out there and you have unlimited access to this traffic and you sell these clicks at 30 cents a click, which is really, really low for solo ads. You make a ton of money. All you have to do is just sell other clicks, and that's not a problem with that price, right? You just go on those solo at Facebook groups and just say, hey, I got 30-cent clicks, and everybody jumps on you.
Yeah, it tells you how naive I am. I'm like, well, why would anybody want that? And I didn't think of somebody reselling the crappy traffic.
Of course they do. And I fell for this myself. I remember buying clicks from a dude for 27 cents a click, which is lower than I would usually go. But I bought, I think, about 7,000 clicks before the penny dropped, and I realized I was getting scammed.
Ouch.
So that wasn't cool. So that's the first way you can get scammed. The second way is the price you see advertised may not be the price you pay. So again, a lot of these scammers, what they do, they try to get you because of the cheap traffic, right? Because of the cheap price. And what they do is they charge the traffic somewhere between 30, 40, maybe 60 cents per click. And then what they do, they send you really crappy clicks. Like, I'm talking real traffic, but really, really poor performing, maybe from a dead list or something. So technically, they're not really scamming, right? They're still sending you some real traffic, but that traffic is so bad, it's so beaten to death, the list is so used up that it's incapable of producing anything in terms of sales and profits because they just mailed it too much and they haven't replenished it. It just, again, they killed their list. But they're trying to squeeze whatever's left. So you pay very little money for each click, but you end up paying anywhere between $3 to $7 per an unresponsive lead on your list. That's actually pretty common. It's way more common than getting fake traffic. It's just getting traffic from dead lists, because the dead list owners especially, they're trying to do anything to try and recoup at least some of the investment that they've made into the list, right? And they obviously realize that when they send out affiliate links, they don't work, they don't convert. So what they do is they just sell the clicks to you, because here you are trying to buy solo ads, and that's how they make a little bit of money. Okay, again, very, very common, especially in the solo ad Facebook groups. It happens all the time. Number 3 is you may be overpaying for brokered clicks. Now again, this is not technically a scam unless they tell you, just like, for example, my friend Harris, that they broker your clicks, right? If they tell you upfront that, hey man, I got access to these publishers and you're paying me my price and I resell your traffic to these other guys at a markup, fine. They're honest about it, and if those publishers are not available anywhere else, I'm willing to pay a little bit of an extra for each click, because I recognize the value of having a fresh traffic source. However, many solo ad vendors do not do that. What they do instead is they pretend as if they have a list, they pretend as if they have a business, they pretend as if they have an audience, but then they go turn around and resell your traffic to the people you're already buying from, because they're in the same pool as those other guys you've been buying from. So what ends up happening, instead of buying clicks from the other dude for 80 cents or 70 cents, you're buying from this dude for $1, and he resells you at a 20-cent markup.
Wow.
Now that is a douchebag move.
That's dirty. That is dirty.
So, but that is the truth, okay? That is how the industry works. And last but not least, which is probably, it's not the oldest trick in the book, not the oldest one, but it's pretty old, and it's coming and going all the time, right? Sometimes they do it a lot. Sometimes they go back and they wait for a year and they come back and do it again. But the point is this. Sometimes what they do is they inject the leads. So what happens is anyone who understands coding, PHP coding specifically, is able to do what's called a co-reg, where they take the PHP data. So they get the opt-in form to, like, this is going to get technical, but I just want you to understand how it works. So when somebody opts into to their squeeze page that they're using to, like, they get traffic from whatever they want to get traffic to, they have the opt-in form pass the email to the next page where they have a hidden script that is triggered by the IP address of the visitor, and it injects the email address into as many as 40 forms at the same time.
Wow.
So what ends up happening, you end up generating a really, really high opt-in rate, but these leads never actually wanted or intended to opt into your list. They don't know you. They didn't ask for it. Okay. They do not know that they've just been resold to you. So not only they give you what you didn't pay for, they scam you, but also you now end up being in trouble with the autoresponder company, because that is going to lead to a really high spam complaint count. And so you will get in trouble. Okay. So that is how I got scammed last week that I was telling you about. I've had people injecting leads into my offers, but we were able to quickly identify that because we saw no actions on the thank you page at all, and we were able to quickly put a stop to that.
That thing is still messing with my brain, injecting leads. So the leads go in, they don't hit your thank you page, and then they're pretty much unaware that they're a lead for you. That's ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Then not only they don't hit your thank you page, they don't even hit your squeeze page, because what the scammer does, he goes on your squeeze page, he looks at the code, he pulls out your token information or whatever he needs from the opt-in form itself, okay? And he then creates a script that automatically injects leads into that form. So the prospect doesn't even know you exist, let alone, land on your thank you page.
Good,
you know what I
good.
mean? Like, nobody tells the prospect, hey, when you're going to opt in, you're going to get on 40 other email lists. Nobody does that. What happens is they just end up on your list and you email them, obviously, with the first email. All of a sudden, you've got a high complaint rate because they didn't ever expect to hear from you. They didn't know who you are. They don't understand why the hell are you mailing them. And, I used to check. There's actually a very simple way to check whether or not you're getting those leads, and also whether people actually do that. So what I like doing is that when I buy solo ads, I usually ask the person who sends the traffic to see, like, show me the funnel, right, that you're using to build your list. Because if you got a list, you should have at least one funnel. Usually you should have many, many more funnels, but at least one you should have. And so first off, if they don't give me a funnel, if they try to tell me it's under construction or get funny, I know they're reselling my clicks. I don't deal with them. Unless they outright tell me, hey, I'm reselling your traffic, and for whatever reason, you should buy from me and not from this other guy to buy direct, right? However, if they do give me their squeeze page, their funnel, their whatever, what I do, John, and this is a really simple trick that John Cornetta taught me a long time ago. So you start a Gmail account, or you can use your existing Gmail account if you want, but I would start a different one for that. And what you do is, let's just say your Gmail account is jonathan@gmail.com. Okay? So you go into their squeeze page and you enter your email, jonathan@gmail.com, but then before the @ sign, after Jonathan, what you do is you put a plus sign, a plus symbol, and then a word. I usually use the name of the person I'm buying from. So let's just say I'm buying from Frank. So what I would do, I would go to Frank's squeeze page that supposedly he uses to build this funnel, and I would put my email there that says Jonathan plus Frank@gmail.com. Now, what this does is when I get an email to that inbox, I know that that email had something to do with Frank, because it will show where it sends the email. And so if Frank injects me into any other lists, and all of a sudden I start getting emails from Barbara, from Lily, right, from Mary, I know that Frank is doing something shady and I should not work with Frank.
Ooh, busted. I did that. I did it differently though. When people used to collect names, I just put their name to remind me, and then I'd see like, who the hell's this person sending me an email with the wrong name? But that is that's obviously a big deal in the solo ad industry. I didn't realize people would buy your own traffic, resell it at a markup, and compete against you. That is ridiculous, man. What an interesting thing that I didn't even know was going on. So Igor, what else can you say about the scams that people are running into? What other warnings can you give the list builders?
Well, I mean, these 4 scams pretty much sum up all the potential ways you can get scammed. Obviously, if you watch for language and behavior, you can spot some more. But, I mean, these should be enough to keep you away from 99% of all the scamming out there.
And I have to ask, how is Igor Solo Ads then different than all these scammers?
Well, besides the fact that we don't scam you.
That's one part of it. But I guess maybe I'm digging too deep into your IP, because I know that you do a lot of work on the back end to make sure that your list is scrubbed, cleaned, and really up to date, so you don't have a lot of garbage on your list.
Well, that is true. We spoke about how we verify the leads as they come in, and how we really do not send a click to the customer until that click did something to show they're real. So yeah, as far as like qualification of the traffic, yeah, you're right. We do go through some extra steps, if you will, to make sure the traffic is at least real. I'm not talking about being, the clicks being rich or whatever, like the clicks being able to afford anything, but, what we focus on is getting a real click and getting an emotionally engaged one. That's been our focus for the last 2 years, actually, and has been working really well for our clients.
All right, good stuff, Igor. As we're wrapping up, do you want to tease out what you have coming up for us next time?
Yeah, next time we're going to talk about subject lines, because we touched upon subject lines on the last episode, and I stress how important they are and how your entire faith can sometimes swing on that subject line. Like if you're doing an email launch, like if you're following Ben Settle and he teaches a lot for the email launch, subject lines are really, really important to pull those off. So I decided to share with the list builders the 5 ways you can easily screw up your subject lines, so you know what not to do. Okay, some sins not to commit when you're creating them.
Man, I'm looking forward to that. That is a wrap for another edition of the List Building Lifestyle Show. We'll be back with you next time.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.